much for the raid, very much. Guys, if you're not following Tesseract, please go give Tesseract a follow. I'm sure that they will graciously appreciate it. And yeah, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. All right, mate. How are we? How are we? I know I was speaking to you yesterday. I chilled out with you for a while yesterday. Actually, I was supposed to go to bed.
Oh yes.
But but I ended up just sticking around, and I don't know. I was having a laugh with you. You know, telling each other really poor jokes, and
your riddle was just fantastic.
I know. Look, well, it's just would you like to share it with the chat or?
Your wants to turn me up.
Turn Rhys up? Oh yeah. I always forget. You know what it is, right? I always forget to turn people up because my headset is louder than people can hear.
I had your voice so loud because when we were watching the AEW pay-per-view, like I couldn't hear anyone, so I had to turn everyone's volume up.
Yeah.
And then when you spoke, it like jump scared me a bit because it was so loud.
I know, right? That's so good, bro.
Yes. So the riddle was, and let's see if your chat can figure this out.
Yeah.
If I remember off the top of my head, what's short, white, and really shiny?
Come on, chat.
We'll see if your chat can figure that out while we talk.
It's a riddle I gave Rhys last night. There's two alternative. There's two alternatives to the answer.
Fucking bloody got it straight away.
I just said the answer for me. Rhys was thinking about it for about 30 minutes, and then he said, "All right, what is it, man? I can't figure it out. I don't know. It might be an egg. Like I don't know what it is, bro." And I'm just like, "It's your shiny bald head." And he just pissed himself laughing. It was
rates me with 30 viewers and then just bullies me straight away. Fucking
yeah. It was fun. I enjoyed it very much, and you did too. Don't get me wrong, you did too. 100%.
It's a good old time. All right, anyway, I'm gonna take the jacket off. I know. It's hot.
Oh, he's undressing. Is this TOS? No, he's all good.
Every half hour, a layer comes off.
Every half hour. Better make this a 25-minute conversation then. So my question to you, as always, is my question to every person we have on. The first thing I always ask people is, why are you on Twitch? What draws you to Twitch? And tell me a bit about you as a person, like as a gamer. You know, introduce yourself a little bit to the community. I know a lot of people probably know you, but a lot of people probably don't. So give us a little bit of an insight into what is all about Rhys.
All right. So basically, I've been like very interested in content creation since like 2008 or 9, right? So I was in high school. And I was back then I was doing like the generic, Call of Duty videos where you like overreact to everything and you're screaming at the top and just trying to make it because you're young and stupid, right?
Yeah.
Obviously I lost interest there because I have a tendency to like go all in on something and then immediately lose interest after like 3 or so months. I've done that with a lot of things. Like if we counted all my YouTube channels that I've done over the years, I think we'd be reaching close to like 15. So we went from that, and then last year I started another YouTube channel which hit, in my opinion, a lot of success, which was based on the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game.
Yep.
And in about, I think it was in just under 3 months, I reached 1,000 subscribers, which I thought was just incredible.
Yeah, that's massive.
But my issue with that game was fucking like I couldn't. The game got so expensive that to remain relevant, you always had to buy new cards, new decks, always, trying to stay ahead of the curve. I wasn't making enough money to facilitate that kind of content, so I kind of gave up on content creation.
Yeah, well, it's got to have a rewards basis to it, and if you're just spending money and just not being able to pay that off at zero, then you're in a negative, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not saying I'm into content creation to make money, but if I'm spending, which if I'm being honest, thousands of dollars on something and I'm not getting anything back, it makes it very hard to make it like a justifiable hobby, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's not this is the thing, when you invest in hobbies in order to reap a reward, right? So like whether it's a monetary award or whether it's a enjoyment award, it doesn't matter. If you get enough enjoyment out of something or something is fulfilling enough, it doesn't matter how much it costs, right? But if you're spending thousands of dollars and you're not getting that same amount of fulfillment out of it, well, what's the fucking point? I totally understand that. It's the same reason we spend money on anything, you know?
That's right.
It's the same reason you buy, you know, however much your computer costs, because you want to be that person, you want to be able to game. It's your thing, right?
That's exactly right. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So about 4 years ago, I bought the computer I'm using right now, right? Because with the intentions of starting, I never had streaming in mind, because back then I didn't have good enough internet to even download games, let alone stream anything. So my idea was start a YouTube channel and treat it like Twitch, but not live. So I'll do live gameplays and just upload them as is. But there was the delayed gratification of having people react to my stuff while I'm not there reacting live. It wasn't motivating me. You know what I'm saying? So I spent all this money on this rig. Like, I promise you, the whole reason I spent close to $10,000 on my whole setup was for that. There was no other reason. You know what I mean? So that didn't work out. And then I started watching Twitch streamers on YouTube, you know, like Nick Merckx, all the big guys. You know, that's how you get. I feel like that's how anyone finds out about certain networks and stuff like Twitch. And then obviously I started following them on Twitch, watching them on Twitch religiously. And then I thought, I get things in my head that I could be bigger than I am, but I think that's what drives me to be as good as I can possibly be, because for me, it's not about just showing myself, but it's about having the best quality of things possible, having the best animations, the best overlays. I like people to come in and kind of compliment how my things look, and I want people to think, fuck man, this guy's been doing it for like 10 years. I pride myself on that stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
You know what I mean? So like I used guys like Nick Merckx, guys like Swag as motivation for how my streams look. And then I thought, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to go for it. So I started recording my games privately and acting like I was a Twitch streamer. Do you know what I'm saying?
No,
just to practice engaging with people. And like, if no one's watching, how do I engage with people that aren't even there? Like, because you can't just rely on chat all the time, because when you're a small streamer, sometimes you've got no one there to talk to. So you got to sort of do your own thing. You know what I mean? So after that, I thought, all right, I got to just do it. So about 3 months ago, I did my first stream, and all my friends jumped in, and it was fantastic, right? I feel like everyone's first stream, because everyone's curious, all your close friends, relatives are curious. First stream was great. After that, it kind of bottomed out, because obviously I hadn't done any networking, hadn't made any friends on Twitch. So I stopped streaming for a long time, about 2 or 3 months. And then, I don't know, I just copped a rush. I thought, fuck, if I don't do it properly, it's never going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I get you.
So I happened to stream on Twitch, and Astro saw me on Facebook that I was posting about it. And I was like, oh, sick, dude. So he sort of introduced me to you. He told me about Blitty. He told me about a lot of people who have helped me out, And on my first proper stream where I decided to start scheduling, I ran into guys like Deco WZ and all those people just randomly, like Tim Tam. I got into a random lobby with them, and they all helped me too. And honestly, Twitch has been the best thing I've done ever creatively.
Yeah.
Something about it has been, I don't know, like, I wish I could do it 24/7. Like, I wish I never had to sleep. So I could just stream while I'm not working, and then go to work. You know what I mean?
But I get you.
Obviously.
100%. No, this is the problem I have on a daily basis, mate. You see how many hours I do on Twitch. Yeah, but like, I double the amount of hours I do on Twitch. That's how much I work. So you know what I mean? Like, I totally understand that. Like, the whole time when Sydney had that big lockdown and stuff, when I couldn't work, I have never streamed on Twitch so much in my life. So like, I streamed for 2 months straight, literally every day, for like 8-10 hours a day, because I had nothing else to do. And I don't know about you, but you sound very similar I feel like we're very similar. Like, you sound similar to me as when I say, look, I can't sit around and do nothing with my time.
Yeah.
I have to be doing stuff. I have to be doing I'm not the kind of person that can sit down and watch a TV show. I find it very hard. I find it very, very hard to sit down and watch something. Like, I have to be interactive and doing something, or there has to be a goal to what I'm doing in my spare time, because I have a very limited amount of spare time. So I want to be able to do what I want to do, but at the same time I want to enjoy it. And also I'm going to be looking towards, building something. You know what I mean? And that's
for sure.
That's just me as a person. Like, it's just with business and with work and with Twitch and with gaming, there's always an opportunity for something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm a long-term goal person. Right?
Yeah.
So go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and I think you've done like an incredible job with the community you've built, because Like I don't necessarily know everyone who's in your streams or even have them come into my streams, but like I recognize pretty much everyone's name because I obviously just watch you a lot. Even if I don't say nothing, I'm just sort of there whether I'm at work, and I feel like I've even grown a connection to a lot of your viewers, which is pretty incredible. You've gathered a very good group of people in your chat, which I feel like some people really struggle with.
Yeah, 100%. And then you know what that is? All it was to me is I went out to other people's streams who are either my friends or people who I like to watch, and I just got to know their communities as well. And so that's what you got to be doing. Like what you're doing with this community and watching and getting to know each other, do that with 10 other communities. You know what I mean? That's what Twitch is all about. You know, I've made friends in some weird places, I'm telling you. But a lot of those people I've made real connections with. And it was just like off the random, you know, like it could have been off a random raid. Like one of the people who I met on a random raid was Crow, right? And I didn't know him. I didn't know anything about him. I was in his stream for like an hour, just didn't say anything. Just sitting there watching him. I was like, this guy has more energy than I've ever seen in any person ever, right?
Yeah.
And I messaged him and I said, oh mate, like I've just come into your stream from Australia. Like I've never actually watched anything like this. You're really like just going for it, and I really respect it. And I subbed to him like that day, and I was just like, I'm gonna be here for a while, I reckon, because I'm gonna just be hanging out with you, and we talk all the time. And now it's like he has just like blown the fuck up, like to the point where it's just like, you know, he does it for a living now. But he's
awesome.
But like he's got so much going on because he's obviously ex-army and all that kind of stuff. So he's just like he's got so much energy, and he's all about the grind. Like, and I saw what he was doing with his community. At the point where I saw his community, I was probably at about 600 followers, right? When I saw his community, and I was like, I'm looking at what he's doing, and I'm looking at what other people are doing. I met Laura in that time as well, and I got to know her community and gelled out with them, and now I hang out with a lot of those people as well. I got to know Obliterator's community way back when I first had like 100 followers. Me and Blitty met on I'm pretty sure Holty sent me into Blitty's stream, and Holty had like 200 followers at the time. Like we're all pretty basic bitches back then. You know what I'm saying? And I met all those kind of people, and then that brought other people in, like James's community with this guy who just resubbed as well, and Annalise I've known since I had 20 followers. She's been in here since like, you know, before I had a computer. So you know what I mean? It's just wild. And you know, when I first met her and Blazing and stuff, I was just playing Jackbox games with her and her mates, just on like a random stream on BizQueen's stream, who doesn't even stream anymore. And that was just like, and it was nothing else to it other than just having a bit of fun with some friends. And then I just found more and more places like that to have fun and just hang out. But as soon as I saw what Crow was doing and stuff, I was like, there is an easier way to grow a community. You just need to find like-minded people and bring them together. So that's why, and as soon as the Discord sort of took off, and as soon as we got more and more people in here, it got easier, because like, I was just like, well, I need, you know, I've met this person, they're lovely, and then I'm gonna introduce that person to this person, and then they get to know each other. I'm gonna introduce this person to that person, and then they get to know each other, and that's why I call it the Zilla Patch community. It's not Rugged Ad Zilla's Twitch page, all right? It is. It's the Zilla Patch community, because without the people in the page, in the chat, in the channel, in the Discord, you know, here every other fucking day, it isn't anything. It's just me rage quitting at COD. So it's not very exciting, is it? Like, so that's why I can literally I will go ahead and stream whatever. I will stream me power washing a fucking window. I will stream me, you know, flying in on Rebirth. I'll stream me being terrible at Fortnite. It doesn't matter what I'm playing, because all the people here are just to hang out with me and hang out with each other. And that's what a community is all about. And that's you know, I keep telling everyone, please take advantage of this. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a small streamer, if you want more people to come and hang out with you, be more active in the Discord. Be more active with each other in the chat. Like, be more active in general, because if you're not, you're doing yourself a disadvantage, because it's there for you to do. I wish that when I had like 50 followers, 100 followers, whatever, I was like, I wish I'd found a community like this. Yeah. Because you know what? It would have been a lot easier.
I mean,
like,
I'll tell you what, man. Like, if it wasn't for people like you and like people like Semi-Sus, who I also think has a very good community, like I would not be where I am today. Not saying I'm like this massive streamer or anything. Like I've still got a very small following, but like I wouldn't have made it to affiliate in 3 weeks. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
it took me 3 months to get to affiliate.
Yeah.
It took me 3 months
Yeah.
just to get 50 followers.
Yeah.
Right? I was streaming to no one and my dad. You know what I mean? Like me and my dad were just having a laugh in the chat while I was playing COD poorly. Like that was that was my first month and a half on Twitch. Maybe Ragnar would pop his head in every now and again and be like, "What's up, bro?" Like that was about it. But I got to affiliate, and you know, I had like 2 subs. You know what I mean? Like, and I was just playing games. I was having a bit of fun. And then all of a sudden, I was just like, "Oh, I gotta try and meet more people and hang out with more people." And then that just went from there.
Yeah, for sure.
It's great fun.
I mean, it's crazy to think that, like, you know, for someone who hasn't been streaming for that long to have gotten something like 65 subs in their first month as affiliate, I never came into this thinking I'd make money or have people pay to watch me or whatever it is. But just that number to me is mind-boggling because it's crazy to think that people, you know, are willing to support you like that. And I couldn't be more appreciative of all the people I've met. And I've said this from day one, right? Like, for me, the amount of followers I have it's not what I care about. What I care about is like viewer numbers and people in chat, because I'd rather have people follow me that are willing to watch me than have 8,000 followers and, you know, no one giving a shit. Like I want to build something that, you know, it's hard to explain, but
no, I get it. I get it. Well, like
you know?
literally, I give all the money that we make here. I give to other people a charity. I don't take any of it. I don't need it.
Yeah.
I don't need the money. I do this for fun. I enjoy it. That's why I love hanging out in other people's chats, because I can support them that way. So like, if people come in here and they drop 10 subs, 15 subs, 20 subs, they all just go back to the people that gave them to me. Either that, or they go to other people in the community. And then then we spend a whole week of charity week where every single dollar is given to charity. So I don't do any of this for money. I don't want the money. I don't need the money. I was you know, I don't know, it's just it's great. It's fucking awesome. Like Ragnar just came in 13 months. Look at that. 13 fucking months. That's a long time, bro.
It is, man.
I've known the guy for 10 years, but there's a 13-month sub. It's not bad. We were talking about this the other day. You know, he's been his wife. He met his wife after we were mates. So like, he's had. I think. What'd you say, Rags? I think you said you've been with your wife for 10 years and you've known me for 11 or something like that. Like we met each other in high school. Well, just after high school would have been. We met at a car meet, I believe.
Ah, what kind of cars?
Subarus.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I still have the WRX as well.
Ah, dude. You know what? Speaking of WRX, I don't know if you've seen the newest design, but
I have not.
I was not pleased.
Mate, it's been going downhill ever since they brought out that Vogue-looking bullshit. I don't even know.
I didn't mind the most recent generation. I thought it looked a bit basic. I mean, it just looked like a glorified Lancer, but I don't mind them. But they are just getting more and more basic. The same thing with the Honda Civics, because I love Honda Civics, specifically the Type Rs. Like they're one of my favorite cars. But the only generation that I think looks good is the most recent one, which is generation 11, I think, because they just look so different, so like buggy and then the generation they've revealed, they've gone back to basic looking shit, and I'm just like, dude, be different. You just got to be a bit different, especially with Jap cars, you know, because they've got such a big community. Like, it's safe to be different, I think. But
yeah, I understand that. I've always loved Japanese cars, but I work on European cars for a living. But I own Japanese cars, if that makes sense.
Well, that's probably where the money is, right? So, European cars.
Well, that is very, very true. I mean, European cars break more often, and they're more expensive to fix. So you know, as a business mind, you feel like that's a smart idea. But it's also like, I mean, it's all I've ever done for work as well. Like I've always worked on Audis and Volkswagens. This is like my job. But I agree. I agree with Ragnar when he says fuck cars, because we've both been working in the same industry for a very long time, and both of us are very over it. I'm not gonna lie. It is what it is. Toxic, how are you today, mate? Good to see you. I have the Bug-Eye wagon, the 2002 Bug-Eye wagon. That was it goes back, but it's fully custom built. Like everything in it it's just basically race car at this point. Like it's not registerable. Like it's not meant to. Like me and Rags actually built the engine in it together over a few bourbons. We're just hanging out in the garage over a weekend, just putting a block together and having a bit of fun with it.
Over a few bourbons. No wonder it can't be registered.
Yeah, exactly. You start it up, it just goes. It's like, I left my glass in the piston hole. Like fucking. I think there's a picture actually.
It's funny because like I wouldn't say I'm like the biggest car person.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I go through phases where I love cars. Then I can't be bothered. Like I said to you, I go all in on something and then like nothing else matters to me. It's so weird. Like recently I've been liking cars again, but who knows? In 3 months I might just go
You sound like you have some sort of like ADD, bro.
I've got a short attention span because I was explaining this to chat yesterday. You know, when people play like Call of Duty Zombies, for example, after like round 3, I'm like, no thanks. I'm a bit over it now because the end goal is nothing. You just survive, right? Like
I do that too. I think, like with games that like if I start a new game on stream within like an hour, the chat can either see I'm either really enjoying it, I'm really not, and then I just change games. Like it's just I just go back to something because I'm always happy to give something a go.
Yeah.
Like, it's if someone says, "Oh, try this game, you'll really like it." I go, "All right, I'll give it a go." And after an hour, I'm just like, "I hate this," and I turn it off. Or I say, "This is my next favorite game," and I finish it. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of, like, it's one or the other. Like, you know, when you start watching a TV show or something like that, and you give it like an episode or 2 or 3 or whatever it might be. I usually think 3 episodes is pretty good because you got to knock out the pilot. The pilot is never the TV show, right? The pilot is just it doesn't count. You watch the pilot, you watch the second episode, and you're like, I see where this is going. You watch the 3rd episode. If you can watch 3 episodes of that show and then go, I want to watch a 4th, you'll watch the rest of it. But if you get 3 episodes in and you go, fuck this show, I never want to watch it again, you never will. Because it's one or the other. I really like that, eh?
I have like a completionism complex when it comes to TV shows because, like, for example, my missus started watching Desperate Housewives and I was like, I don't want to watch this shit. And then like one episode passes and then my brain just says, but what happens next? And then by the end of it, I'm ahead of her and I finish the show before she even does. It's
that's a problem.
It's pretty, yeah, dude. Like, I don't know. TV shows like suck me in really easily.
Desperate Housewives, though? Really?
Trust me, dude. I'll watch anything as long as it's relatively good. Can't be like absolute dog shit, but as long as it's relatively good.
I'm not gonna lie, I did the same with Gossip Girl, so that's.
My missus made me watch that shit too, dude.
I didn't have a missus. I just watched it. I want to see what all the hype was about. I watched the first couple of episodes. I'm like, fuck, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
It's like I hate myself.
There's a show on Netflix called You, and that's got the same actor as the one in Gossip Girl, but I won't. How do I explain it without spoiling it? Would your chat care? Probably not.
Wait, what are we talking about?
In Gossip Girl, you know who Gossip Girl is? That character?
Yeah.
Well, he's in this other show that my missus wanted to watch, and we both got hooked on that too because the only reason we watched it. Yeah, exactly.
I've seen it.
And that show is fucking incredible, but no way would I have given that time of day if it weren't for her making me watch it and then getting myself hooked. It's just...
I think his name's Penn Bagley.
Mm.
Penn Bagley.
Very handsome man too, I think.
Hey, he's a creep though now. I mean, I can't look at him the same way now. It's like he used to be a heartthrob, but now he's a serial killer. So I don't know how you go from one to the other so quickly, but he did a very good job of it. So he must be a very good actor. Either that or he's an absolute crazy motherfucker. But either way.
A bit of this, bit of that, maybe.
That's it. Butler in the chat. Hey, Butler, how are you today, mate? Good to see you. Nice for you to drop by, bro. Butler has one of the best beards on Twitch, mate. I'm telling you.
It's better than mine.
It's pretty fantastic. He's put a selfie in the Discord, actually. You'll have to check it out. Speaking of cars, now we're on the topic. What was your first car?
All right, so if we count the car me and my mum shared, it was just a really old Toyota Corolla, like nothing special. Then The first car I bought was a Mitsubishi Verada, which was like
Oh yeah.
the higher class of the Magnas at the time.
Was it a wagon too?
No, I'm a sedan type of guy. I really like sedans, so
Yeah.
that was a sedan. So
Australian
that was my
staple
first.
car, that is.
Yeah, so that was my first car that I bought on my own. Obviously, it was secondhand. I think I paid $4,000 for it.
Yeah.
And then about 4 years ago, I was camping with some friends, and I just thought to myself, "Fuck, I want a new car." So we got back from camping. I went straight to a dealership and bought my Mitsubishi Lancer GSR on the spot. Didn't even try to negotiate. Nothing. I was just a little punk. Easy pickings. You know, they just had a fucking field day with me, dude, and that's my car ever since. So,
yeah, nice. Well, I mean, look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the mechanic 101, bro. Like, you know, if you love it, you love it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it drives good. I love it. But the next car I want is a Kia Sorento GT. I think that's what I want to get next.
You can talk to Ragnar about Kias and ask him what he thinks of them. I'm pretty sure it won't be nice.
I know Kia had like a bad rep many years ago, but in terms of their like style game, like how they've done up their like, you know, how they've reimagined all their cars from the outside in. Like, I think their tech inside the car, like the interior stuff, is for the price point pretty unmatched. But that's just my opinion. In terms of style, not really anything else. Whether it's good or not, I don't know. But
I think it's more of a, like, I don't know all the specifics, but from what he has explained to me, a couple of times there's been more like mechanical issues, so like gearboxes and stuff like that. But I mean,
yeah,
you can ask him about that. I don't know about. He works on them most days. I don't. So
yeah, fair.
For me, I mean, like my first car was an ES300 Lexus. I saved up a lot of money for that car, and like because I started working when I was 14, right? So I was doing a lot of side jobs and stuff like that, trying to make some money. Saved every dollar. And then when I went to buy my first car, my dad said, "All right, I'll double whatever you want to buy. I'll give you double, right? So if you have say 4 or 5
whatever
grand,
you save,
I'll give you $5 grand, and then you can buy your first car." And I was like, "Oh fuck yeah!" So instead, I went from thinking I'm gonna buy a Corolla, or I'm gonna buy a Lancer or whatever it might be. And I ended up buying a Lexus. And I was just like, it was a 97 ES300 Lexus. I bought it for 12 grand, right? And it had about, I think it was like 100,000 Ks on the clock. Leather, moonroof, fucking beautiful car, mate. Front wheel drive, just...
style it on your friends.
Two-tone champagne interior, mate. Like, just, it was beautiful. And you know, I rocked up to school in that car with the P plates on it. Because I had I was a bit older for my year, so I had my license and everything, and I rocked up to my exams and that with my new car, and everyone was just like, "What the fuck?" Like, it was very cool. It was very cool. But I had the car for years, but I ended up trading in. I got a Sora after that, a 6-cylinder twin turbo manual Sora imported from Japan, and yeah, that thing did not last long. I had that for a year, and then I smashed it into a fucking traffic. I did not. Yeah, I
smashed it into a traffic.
I smashed it into it. I caused a traffic jam when I spun it and smashed it into something. But it was just too powerful. Like, it was 300 kilowatts at the rear wheels. Like, it was just like, for me, twin turbo 6-cylinder, bro, and it had a saddle tank, like a Camry saddle tank. And fuel was very, very low, and I just came around a corner and just spun in a circle, and it just ended up on the opposite side of the road, just got fucking destroyed.
This is not where I'm meant to be.
Yeah. So that thing went to heaven, and I never saw it again. So that was the end of that. No, Hondo, that's a 1JZ. It's 2.5 litre. So the Japanese import version was a 2.5 litre turbo, twin turbo, 6-cylinder straight six, with a 5-speed manual gearbox and rear-wheel drive. It was an absolute monster of a car. That's the kind of car you take on a drag strip. Like, it was all power in the rear and nothing in the front. Like, it was just and I put coilovers in it. Like I dropped it to an inch of its life. Like you can get this thing up a driveway even if you tried. Like it was just like it was.
You're one of those guys that hold up traffic trying to go over a speed bump when you're going fucking sideways.
I would have to go. I'd have to go around the block. Like I can't. I have to avoid those speed bumps, mate. Like it was the most ridiculous thing. And I had a twin hot dog mufflers on the back, right? So like 6-inch screamer pipes on the back. So and I hooked up some coil packs in the back and I shot flames out the back. It was the most intense thing you've ever seen. It's completely illegal, but like I got defected like every other day. Like I think I got defected 3 or 4 times.
You just get pulled over. Yeah. Put the sticker on.
But it was fantastic. And after that, I decided, okay, I'm going to go with a more sensible sports car. So I ended up buying the WRX after that. I have it ever since. I've had a lot of other cars, but that's been my project car for a very long time. I still have it, still under a cover in the warehouse, just sitting there. But because I haven't been able to take it on the track because the track's been closed because of COVID for like the last year and a half. So that's the way that is. We're just getting a raid from Tabby. Let's go, Tabby.
Let's go.
Thank you for the raid. Appreciate it. My number one hope. You are my number one hope. Welcome in. Gamer type. Oi, gamer in the chat. And Aka Ozian? I don't know how you'd say that. AKA Ozian?
It's not so easy.
It's not easy. Sometimes it's weird. Tabby, how are you today? How was Sea of Thieves? Sorry to interrupt. No, you're all good. It's all good. How was Sea of Thieves? I hope you had a really good time. We're just going to get a quick shout out for Tabby here. If you're not following Tabby, please go give Tabby a follow. Very much love. Thanks for the shout out. Always a shout out for you. You know that. Let's go. Love in the chat. I love that. And you say it charging cable? Wait, you say it charging cable.
There was
what?
warning for that kill.
All right,
Wait,
well,
what is that?
I'm just gonna...
That must be the name. We're just pronouncing it wrong.
What?
It's not Ecosian, it's charging cable.
For now on, your name is Charging Cable. If you come in this chat again, I'm calling you Charging Cable. You started it. I'll finish it. I love it, though. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, my God. Oh, that's so good. All right, look. The other question I like to ask guests on the podcast and, mates who come in and hang out. What is... Let me think here. I had a... What is the one thing that you would do on a weekend, right? So the one thing you would do on a weekend would put a smile on your face no matter how many times you do it. All right? Now, I don't want you to get all weird on me. All right? I'm just thinking more hobbies. Rhys.
Like you said something.
So, but what do you reckon? What's the go-to thing that you do? Like, I mean, is it video games? Is it sports? Is it, other things unrelated to whatever we're talking about? What is it? What gets you going?
All right. Well, if my missus is in the chat, hanging out with her 100%.
She's not in the chat.
If that's okay, so if that's not the case, it's for me, like, because I've always been a homebody. It's just being home playing games with friends. Like, I know it's a cliche answer, but lockdown for me was like, I don't know, like my life didn't change. I guess it helped that I got to still work, but yeah, like if I didn't have work, I think I just would have streamed more and played games more. I don't think it would have affected my life in the slightest. So yeah, man, that's pretty much as far as it goes. I also like really enjoy finding new music. So like I'll randomly just listen to Spotify and just pick a random playlist and just try to find new people because I like music. To me is like I literally get like emotional attachment to music. You know what I mean? So my missus thinks it's weird, but like I'll get goosebumps off like the weirdest shit. So yeah, music is one of my favorite things, to be honest with you.
Well, I understand that because, like, as I've spoken to you in the past about this already, the pure passion that we both share for metal is one of those things that I literally, as soon as I started talking to you, and you were playing, I can't remember which song it was, but it might have been Like maybe Asking Alexandria song or something. I don't know, whatever it might have been.
Yeah, I remember what it was. You were listening to. There's one in particular thing I remember. You were having your drinking stream and you were listening to Popular Monster, and then I'll emphasize the words "attempt" to sing along with it, and
It's tough.
it was Love at First Sight. That's one of my favorite songs of all time.
It is a great song. It's a very tough
yeah.
song to sing along to, especially when you're about 20 beers deep. So, I mean, look, we all have our flaws in life. Look, like, dude, on the metal thing, let's dive into that, because honestly, I could talk metal for a day and I would have no problem.
All right,
music,
settle in.
music to me is one of those things, like you, that literally drives life. Like you can't. There's nothing in this world that can change your mood like music can. Okay, and a lot of different songs mean different things to different people, which is why music's so great. So like I could be in any sort of mood. Like I could be wanting to go to sleep and I'll listen to metal. Like I could be wanting to go to sleep, I'll listen to classical. Like I have no, like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. It's like, it's going to just make me feel better. Like it doesn't, like I'll be working, I might listen to jazz music. You know what I mean? Like, I could be, you know, out on the kayak or something and I'll listen to rock music. Like it just depends what, you want. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just all incorporating in your life. So like, music to me has been a big part of my life. Like I was in a band in high school. Like I grew up in a music household. Like my dad is a musician. Like, he's writing albums as we speak. He has a recording studio and everything. Like I grew up with music. Like when I was a kid, my dad used to play me Sgt. Pepper's to go to bed. Like, you know, and, you know, Tom Petty and the Rolling Stones and all this kind of stuff. And I'd be trying to sleep and all I could hear was Yellow Submarine. And I'm just like, I don't know if I want to sleep now. Like, this is some weird shit. And Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds trying to go to bed. You're just kind of like, am I on psilocybin? Like, fucking Jesus. Like,
yeah, for sure.
But music.
I've got an interesting question for you.
Yeah.
Let's say you're stranded on a desert island for the rest of your life. And there's only one artist you can listen to. You can listen to all their songs, all their albums, all their everything. What's that one artist you take with you?
That's Parkway Drive.
Like, interesting.
It's always been Parkway Drive. I've been.
So you'll be happy to spend the rest of your time listening to only Parkway Drive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no other band that gets me going like they do. Like I've you guys may or may not know. I mean, I probably might have mentioned in the past. I'm like a Parkway Drive groupie. Like I would travel up and down the coast on their tours with them. So like I would follow the tour bus, or I would drive, you know, me and my mates would literally just do hop alongs. Like we'd go to every other gig that they had from Brisbane all the way down to Melbourne. Like every single one along the way, the country gigs, like the Newcastle gig, or the, you know, they might do one in fucking some random place, like it might be Wagga or something. Like we'd go there. We go to the Melbourne Arena. We'd go to Sydney Centre. We'd go to fucking the Brisbane River Stage. Everywhere we could, we would go to Parkway Drive gigs, right? Yeah. Because it's just one of my favorite bands, and like the evolution of that band has been from like one step to another. Like it started out as just your average metalcore band, which we attached to. Like, you know, the first time they released their EP, we were listening to it. We'd found it. You know, this is before Spotify. This is before all that shit. You know, like we just found it. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like we just found the album at the record store. You know what I mean? Like we would go down and buy CDs. So like we would go down and we look in the alternative section when we were high school or whatever. We'd have a look through, and we'd always find, you know, the usuals like Limp Bizkit, and you'd look pro on the Slipknot and Hatebreed and all this kind of stuff. You look through, you go, oh, I got all these ones, you know, Iowa, all that shit. And then you get through and you go, oh, who's Parkway Drive? And you'd listen to it. You'd be like, oh, I really gel with this band. Aussie band, which was the attraction for me. Like, it's an Aussie metal band. I'm like, all right, we'll give that a go, you know? And this is when Trivium was bringing out their new stuff. You know, this is when Disturbed was bringing out Prayer. Like, this is when all the good albums are coming out. Like, 2006 for metal was the year of metal. Like, it was big, yeah. It was beautiful. Like, every single album you got, like, was just insane. Like, I believe that was Trivium's year for Pulling the Heartstrings, or what it was. That was massive. You know what I mean? Like, was a lot of really good bands like bringing out some really classic albums. Like all those albums I still listen to today. And like, so I said, oh, okay, I'm going to see these guys when they go live, or when they go somewhere. One of the first gigs I ever saw with them was at would be what's the city? Horton Pavilion. They did a Horton Pavilion show. It wasn't even sold out. Like it was like half full. Like it was good though. It's really good. They did a few pub gigs. So they did the pub in Newcastle. We went to see them at the Cambridge Hotel. That was cool. And then they also did the Byron Bay High School a couple of times, and that was because that was where they grew up and that's where they lived. And that was a cool gig as well. And it was like really intimate gig. It was like in a fucking pub, like a high school hall. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now
they're doing stadium tours.
Crazy.
Okay? They're playing Wacken. Like they're headlining Wacken Festival. There's 200 to 300,000 people at those fucking things. And they're headlining. And I'm just like, it's just an amazement to me that a band that came from, you know, very humble beginnings. Like their band is literally named after the street they grew up on.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, there's nothing more humble than that. Like there's a bunch of guys who just love to surf. Who are Australians who just decided to make music together when they were younger, and they just came up with something, and they were like, "Oh, let's start a band, see what happens." Got a few gigs locally, and then all of a sudden, like it was around that time they brought out Aya, I believe, and like you know with Dark Days and all that kind of stuff. I feel like that's when they really just like exploded internationally, and people really started paying attention. They started making movies, like all that kind of stuff. And when I was working on the Gold Coast, I was working for Audi on the Gold Coast, and I was servicing all the cars there, and I was like sort of like more of a senior technician there, and I got a car in, and I pulled up on the hoist, and I always look at the job card, you know, job card and like read the job card and have a look through and see what's all about. All right, Audi Q5, yep, and the name on the job card is Winston McCall. All right, now I don't know about you, but I don't know that many Winston McCalls. I'm pretty sure there's only one, right? And I had a slight heart attack because I was like, no, there's no way. Well, it's possible because like we're on the Gold Coast, right? So the closest Audi dealership to Byron is the Gold Coast dealership. So I'm sitting there being like, I don't know if this is real. Like I'm like, you know, I'm in his car, and like there's a child seat in the back, and like all this kind of stuff, and I'm just like, this doesn't seem like a Winston car.
It's a real person car. What the fuck?
Anyway, so and I was like, Q5 family car, like is that really like a metalhead's dream? Like you know what I mean? Like I feel like you'd be buying something a little bit crazy. Had a look through the car. It's definitely his car, and I was like, wow, there was even Parkway Drive stuff in the boot. Like there was a couple of like random bits and pieces under the wheel well and stuff, and I was just like, this is freaking me the fuck out. Anyway, so I delivered the car out to the front office when I was done, and because I greet the customers and stuff, drove it out. I just froze, bro. Like it was him.
Yeah.
He was there to pick up his own car, and I was just like, like, and at the time, the funny part about that at the time, he had blonde hair. Right? And you never seen him with blonde hair because it wasn't on tour during that time. It was off tour.
Yeah.
And the first thing I said to him, I looked at him, and he walks up to me and he get the keys, and I was like, "These keys, sir. I hope you have a great day." He goes, "Yeah." And I couldn't not say something because I was just like, I have to say something to him. Like I have to say.
You wouldn't forgive yourself.
I know, and I just said to him, "I'm sure you get this all the time, man. But I'm a really big fan. And what the fuck happened to your hair?" And he said to me, he goes, "I lost a bet." That's all he said.
Such an Aussie thing.
He's like, "I lost a bet and I had to dye my hair blonde for a time." And yeah, I'm definitely not going to stay blonde. I'm like, that's probably a good idea. Like he's just like, he looks a bit weird.
Meet one of your heroes, immediately roast him. That's the thing you want to do.
And it was just a weird experience, man. And I'll never forget it. Hey, and I'm like, ever since then, like I've seen him on stage more and more and more and stuff because I always go to, like I said, I go to every gig. And during that time, I just keep thinking to myself, man, I could have asked him anything. I could have. I think about it all the time. I think about. I could have told him this. I could have said that. I could have done this. Could have done that. And I said, The fuck's with your
Your hair
hair?
shit.
And I don't know. It was just one of those weird moments where you never, like they say, never meet your heroes, right? I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did, because he was probably the nicest person I've ever met, and he's so humble. Like you expect him, like the way that guy sings, it's like guttural. Like the way he sings is so powerful that it makes me fucking shiver, right?
Yeah.
He speaks so softly and so politely, like he's trying to save himself to sing. Like it's just like. And it was so surreal for me, but it made me so happy. I was talking about it for months, and and no one else gave a shit. They were just like, "Who the fuck cares? Who's that?" And it's like one of my mates was a hip hop fan, right? And I was like, "Who's your favorite hip hop artist?" And he goes, "Oh, Snoop Dogg." And I said, "It's like meeting Snoop Dogg for me."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I still don't get it." It's just like. Come on. But no one else appreciated it like I did, because I was the only metalhead in there. But it was very funny.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great time. So yeah. I mean, look, like I said, it's music makes the world go round, bro. I honestly just love it. I love it.
100% agree with you.
So what's your band, bro? What is it? Which one?
I've gone through phases. Initially, like I would say Disturbed has been my favorite band since 2006, I would say.
Yeah.
But as I got older and I started to understand how music was, I came to realize that Disturbed follow the same pattern in every song with every album they do.
Correct.
It's a very linear like pattern they do with every song.
It's not an evolution, is it? It's just something
if you were to mix all their albums and make different albums with those songs, I wouldn't know. It's because it's all this anyway.
It's true.
Beside the point.
It's true.
But like for me, it's Bring Me the Horizon without a shadow of a doubt.
Oh,
I think they are
so
the
talented.
greatest artists period of all time, in my opinion.
And what's your favorite Bring Me the song? What is the song you put on the first on the playlist? When you're creating your Bring Me the Horizon top playlist, what's the one that you add first? Because there's a lot of great songs. Like, and if anyone in the chat knows Bring Me the Horizon, you'll understand. There's every other song they've made. I mean, there's the occasional fucking rubbish song, like nearly the entire Suicide Seasons album. I just did not like.
I disagree with you.
I did not like
That's cool.
it. I had a few on there that I wasn't like Chelsea Green and stuff like that. That was fun.
That's back in their heavier days too. But
Yeah.
To answer your question, my the first song I always put on the playlist is Alligator Blood.
Yeah.
Because that song gets me like really hype. Following that is Dear Diary.
Mm-hmm.
And then following that is either Teardrops or Ludens.
Wow. New ones.
Yeah.
New
Because that's what I love about this band. Every new album they bring becomes my new favorite music from them.
Yeah.
And that like not many artists can do that.
So what did you think of when they brought out the Mantra album?
I thought it was fantastic. You know, I think I'm the only one on the planet that loved I can't remember the album off the top of my head. Let me look it up.
It was Omo.
I
believe it was Omo, was it?
No, it was called
AMO or something?
No,
AMO?
One sec, sorry.
What was shit house?
Albums, here we go. All right, because I can't remember the. So, Sempiternal is what got me back into that band.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Because I think that is
that was my favorite album.
Yeah. Ammo. Yeah, you're right. AMO.
Shit album.
I loved it. If you listen to it outside of the Bring Me the Horizon bubble and understand what they go for is trying to change their genre, it's a very good album. It's not by any means their best album, because I think for 100% Sempiternal is their best album. But I think every album they've done is just.
I think the reason, and I'll speak on behalf of everyone who's a Bring Me the Horizon fan. I think the reason that people did not enjoy it is because they had an expectation, and they were deceived with the singles. So like when they brought out the first song they brought out before they released that album was Mantra, right? Now Mantra is a great song. It's a metal song. Right? It's a metal song. It's very metalcore based. You know what I mean? It's a good song. The second song they brought out was that one that they did the cover with. I believe. I can't remember what it was called, but it was also a metal song, right?
Yeah.
And then when the album dropped, every other song on that album was nothing that they had done prior. It was all completely different to metal. Now, everyone had pre-ordered that album based on the singles they brought out prior, and every other song on that album, in comparison to the ones they brought out, and then in comparison to what they had made in the previous, was not the same, and people were pissed about it. And I understand that because you spent $30 or $40 on this album that you expected a metal album, and you got a pop album. All right,
Yeah.
And I think that's why everyone got shits. And I believe that 110% that's why I got the shits. Because I expected a metal album and I didn't get it. And I hate pop music. All right? I despise pop music. I think pop music is like fucking selling jingles. Like, I honestly think every pop song I've ever heard, no matter what it is trying to sell me something. Okay?
Yeah.
And I don't buy it because I don't like it. It's like when you hear an advert for like Kellogg's Nutri-Grain on the TV, that's the same as fucking Rihanna Umbrella to me. Like, honestly, I can't hear past that shit. It's it's totally a money making business, okay? Yeah. Whereas rock and metal, they do it for the love and they get paid, right? It's a difference, you know? And also, you look at the lyrics of all the greatest songs ever made, they're not 5 lines long. They're ballads. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're pages and pages. They're essays, in fact. In comparison to the rubbish that is coming out of Hollywood and stuff like that today, there's 5 words and it's a beat to the back of that. Someone edits it and then they get paid millions of dollars. I despise that kind of shit. Like, honestly, it's not. Yeah. It's not real.
I agree with you. It's like, a band like Bullet for My Valentine, right? Like, again, another one of my favorite bands of all time. One of the reasons I love them so much is because they're one of the only bands that stuck around with that, half a minute to a minute intro of just instrumental. Build a story with just your music. You don't even have to speak.
That's why I love Black Parade. I love everything about that song, and the film clip to go with it explains the song. And it's one of those songs that just like you could listen to that song over and over and over again. And it's a beautiful song. And we mocked it when it first came out. We thought it was silly, We were listening to it the first time. I was like, this is silly. I don't understand it at all. But as soon as you actually take the time to sit down and listen to it, you were like, now I understand it. You know what I mean? But it took me a few years of listening to it to actually appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's what happened with me and Ammo, because I didn't like it when it first came out. And then I listened to it again this year because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it a proper go. And I listened to it in its entirety, and every song told a story. So for me, if you can get me attached like that, I'll love it. And yeah, Ammo was a great album.
My favorite song is going to be a little bit off the side. Snakes Start to Sing is my favorite. Song there, because song. The lyrics to that song, they just hit me different. Like it's one of those songs that is really moving. Like it's really powerful. It's not a song. Yeah. It is a ballad. It's a story. Like it is.
That's right.
It is a beautiful rendition. Like I honestly, when I first heard that song, I kind of skipped past it because I was like, this is slow. This is not what I'm up for. Unless you just listen to House of Wolves, you're not going to listen to this song. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you listen to House of Wolves, you listen to Crooked Youth, you listen to all these songs, and you're just like, what the fuck is this? But when you sit down and listen to that song from start to finish with headphones on, real loud, it is absolutely the most powerful song on the album. It is just beautiful.
Hospital for Souls is another one of those songs, man. It's a song you don't really think of as a traditional Bring Me the Horizon song, but if you just listen to it, like don't attach yourself to the band, just listen to it as the song. It's love.
And if you really read into it, if you really read the history of all the songs that they wrote in that album, most of them was during the time when Ollie Sykes was going through a lot. Like when it came to his relationships, when it came to his drug addictions, like all of that shit was going on at the same time writing this album. And every single song, it just kind of takes a different direction in whatever's going on. Do you know what I mean? And that led into the next album. Do you know what I mean? So like, when they went into the next album, and they started producing all the other, the songs there, I honestly like it was just a roller coaster. Like, you know, it went from happy song to doomed. You know what I mean? Like that's a real contrast. Like one
Doomed is a banger of a song.
one
too.
is just like him singing in a way where I have never heard him sing before. He's like a real up vibe, you know. It's kind of like moving in the direction of like more poppy, like, but at the same time, it's still catchy and it's still metalcore. But then he goes to Doomed, and Doomed is just like a complete fucking hardcore smash your face into the desk kind of like situation. You're just like, where is this going? Like, 'cause this is that's what I love about it. Like,
And I think Ollie has some of the best falsettos in the game. Like,
yeah, he's fucked his voice so hard, but it's like all the screaming early on has really fucked him because
it's because he didn't know how to do it properly. That was the problem. Like, if you type in, that he did a live song to one of his old metal songs. What was it called? I've got it here because he did it recently live. The whole song is just screaming. I forget what it's called now. What was one of their original, like, real heavy, like, popular songs? Do you remember it off the top of your head? Probably not.
Chelsea Smile.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's that one. I'll see it, and then anyway. Beside the point, he could scream now. I think he got coaching lessons.
Yeah,
But I think Ollie is at his best when he's just singing.
I agree.
Yeah, just singing.
I don't know. Like it was just one of those. It was just one of those. I don't know. It's just always been a good band. Like I love Amity Affliction for the same reason. Like Amity is very much like Disturbed. Like every single song they make is the same, but it's a formula. It's a formula. You know what I mean? Like Ollie Sykes always sings about wolves. Amity Affliction always sings about drowning. Like it's just one of those things. They have a formula. It works. They stick to it, and that's why I was so shocked when they went away from it because I was like, why? You know, I understand you need to bring in a new demographic because obviously they're trying to adapt with the times and they want a new audience and all that kind of shit. But then you're just doing a disservice to the people that have been with you since day one. You know, so and that's what really irks me about it. But I feel like they're coming back.
Yeah,
you know, they're trying to do full circle. I think.
I don't think you can't look at it as them doing a disservice to their fans and trying to engage with a different audience. You also got to consider that creatively, some people just don't like doing the same music all the time, man. Like, I'm sure when Bring Me the Horizon brought out Ammo, that rejuvenated their love for music because look at the two albums that followed it. Really fucking good, man. Yeah. We might not have got those albums had they not ventured off for one album into a different type of genre and rediscovered love for music. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. Look, some of the bands that we love have done the same and they've come back again. Like Linkin Park did the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, Linkin Park started out, you would call them, like early on, you call them metalcore. Like they were that heavy rock that no one had heard before in like the 90s and stuff. And then from there, they went full pop. Like they pushed, I think it was 10,000 Suns or whatever it was, that album. That was the worst album I've ever heard in my life. Like I couldn't tell you a song from it that I didn't think was garbage. I honestly, and I went to that tour because they were in Sydney for that tour. And I went for that tour and I went to that. And you know what? They played one song off that album on that tour.
Yeah.
All right? Because they thought it was garbage too. You could tell because like, anyone who had bought that album didn't know any of the songs on it because they never listened to it for more than 10 minutes, right? And then you go to their gig and they just played the entire of like, Meteora, right? All the classics, Meteora and Hybrid Theory. They just skipped everything else and they played, I think, one or two songs from that new album. Maybe I think it was what was the song they wrote for Transformers? What I've Done or whatever it is called.
Yeah.
They played that song too, but that was about it. They went to all the old school shit, and they were just like, we don't like that either." Like, do you know what I mean?
I think Hybrid Theory is their best.
Oh yeah, it was one of the first albums I ever bought.
Yeah,
I love it, bro. I still have it. I still a CD somewhere. I don't know where it is, but it's scratched to shit. It's probably a glorified coaster by now, but I'm telling you right now, that was one of the first albums I ever bought. I put it in my Sony Discman, and I went to school, and I listened to that shit on repeat. Over and over and over again. This is back in the day when you used to buy like compilation albums, like compilation CDs, so you'd get a bit of variety. You know, I had there was this album back in high school that I bought called Off the Walls, I think it was, or Off the Rails, or whatever it was. It was a skating album. And it had metal and punk songs on it. 2 discs, and I just go between those 2 discs for months. You know what I mean? And it'd be like Spiderbait and Slipknot, and there was a couple of there was a couple of weird songs in between, like a 9 Inch Nails song in there, and like maybe some just like old school punk songs. Like some, and you know what? I listened to that over and over again, bro. And I honestly, like, that was the simple days. You know, this is before iPods were invented. You know, I'm old as fuck. Like, this is before Anti-Shock was invented. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you hit a bump on the bus and the disc would stop. And if someone pulled your head, and you drop your Discman right, the headphones would rip out of your ears and fucking rip your ears off. You're just like, oh fuck, you know. It was one of those things. Right?
I feel that, you know? Man. Holy cow!
But like that was the fun part, bro. Like,
you
remember burning CDs back in the day?
Or like, I don't know if you ever did this. I used to do this with my uncle a lot, where like a song would come up on the radio and you'd get the cassette recorder out and you'd close all the windows, you'd stop the car and just press record next to your speaker.
Yeah. And it still came out like shit. It's wild. Even Tabby was like, yeah, I understand that life. I don't know, man. It was one of those things, like, music makes the world go round. I'm telling you.
Yeah. That's why music will never be a dying industry.
No. 110%.
As bad as music is now, there's something for everyone, you know?
Well, you know what it is that as people, like, you know, as generations of kids and parents and whoever it might be, they'll all carry on their type of music they like to their kids. Yeah. And then their kids will discover something different. And then they'll carry it on to their kids. And music evolves. So, like, what we're hearing today is not what we're going to hear in 100 years' time. Like, you know what I mean? Even in 50 years' time, it's going to change, you know? If we can go from a 50-year period where our parents were listening to the Beatles, right? We have been listening to death metal, and then the next generation of kids is listening to fucking Cardi B. We're going in a weird direction, okay? I'm telling you, it's going to get weirder. So, like, next is going to be something completely weird, like we've never seen, and it's going to be a new genre of music, and we're just going to be like, what the fuck is this? And their kids are going to be listening to something different. And it's just the way, it's all about just trends, adaptation, and it just keeps going in a different direction because people have got to keep inventing new music to be relevant. Like, you're not going to come out as a band today and be the Beatles. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's been done 1,000 times over. It's been done. All those bands have come and gone. You can't redo that again. You know, same with the bands that we love. Then there's new bands are going to come out. They're going to sound very similar because they're influenced by them, but they're not necessarily going to take off because it's been done. You know, so you got to just see how you go with it, right? Could not function without it. Exactly, Tabby. Exactly. You know, it's a fucking glory. The Grumpies here. Let's go. Welcome in, Grumpies. Music from high school days are now considered classic music. I know, right? And it's just like you listening to it. It wasn't classic when you were listening to it. It was just music. Like, crazy.
That's the crazy thing about music, man. Eventually, it becomes, you know, back in my day, I used to listen to Bring Me the Horizon.
Back when I had a back that worked. Like, it will be.
It's crazy, man.
It will be.
Like, one day we're gonna look back at things like Twitch and be like, I was there before it was on TV. You know, it just everything adapts so quickly now, man. It's just absurd. Look how quick TikTok grew. Everything just, I don't know, man. Like, the internet is such a powerful thing.
I think what it is, right, is that people are always thinking of new ways to reinvent themselves, right? Yeah. And the internet makes that you can reinvent yourself with a click of a button. Like, so before, when you had none of these things, it was very difficult to reinvent yourself in any capacity. Okay, so you start something, you make sure you get it right the first time, because if you don't have a second chance on those things. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's cemented there. Like, you can't just change it. Nowadays, or with the internet being anonymous, with TikTok, Instagram, all these different platforms, you can reinvent yourself in 5 minutes. You could literally just delete everything and start again. And no one would fucking be the wiser. You know what I mean? And it's just, you could do that. Like, we could do this with Twitch. We could delete our Twitch channels tomorrow, start again on YouTube. Nobody would know us. Do you know what I mean? And you just start again from scratch. And like, you could do that. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why you would, but what I'm saying is you could if you wanted to. It's the same with Instagram. People will invent pages every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then eventually, out of the 15 pages that you've made, one of them takes off and goes viral, like they'd like to say. And that's the one that makes you the money, or whatever it might be, or makes you famous. And it's just a click of a button. Like, you just change something completely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's crazy. We can't keep up. We can't keep up. Like, people can't keep up with their own technology. Like,
I mean, just look at things like cryptocurrency, dude. Like, the internet is so powerful that we now have a currency completely invisible to us, and we consider it valuable purely because of the internet.
well, this is the thing. It's like,
It's absurd.
there's never been, so cryptocurrency, the reason it's so massive is there's never been a currency that wasn't controlled by a market.
That's right.
So the market always controls currency. Currency is controlled by markets in the world, and it all depends on what's going on in the world. Cryptocurrency is separate to the market, which makes it so attractive to people because, well, one, it's attractive to people because the unpredictability of it is exciting to people.
Gamble, right? People have gambling problems. It's
Exactly.
I feel the same. That's how I am. Like, I remember when Dogecoin like hit the moon at one stage. I was like, "Fuck it, I'm buying in," and I made like $3,000 off it. I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's go." I was like, stupid idea, but the thought of the gamble and possibly making a lot of money it's what draws people.
Yeah, look, it's just another way of trading, really. Like, it's just another way that people can like get around the system.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, the stock market's been there for years. It's the same thing. But the stock market is dependent on physical attributes in the world.
Yeah.
Like, whether it be governments, whether it be investments, whether it be companies going public, or whether it be like trends. Whereas like cryptocurrency is completely random. It's like playing a game of roulette with like 1,000 numbers. Like, it is one of those things. Is like you either win or you lose, but it can be really big or really, really small. You don't know because it's completely random. And that's why crypto will never be the current currency of the world, because it can't be regulated, right? You need to have regulation, because if you don't have stability in the market doesn't work. It just, no one will invest in it.
But you can very much tell that like for example, Commonwealth Bank is now accepting things like Litecoin, Bitcoins and stuff. Eventually, this shit's going to get out of control, especially if we ever get to a cashless society. Dude, crypto's going to skyrocket. I promise you. Well,
this is the thing, right? It has to have a top end as well, because what happens is the reason the market exists and the reason crypto now exists is the same reason why crypto in the future will be the market, or it will be a new market, but it will be regulated. This is the thing, like, everything which blows up becomes regulated. Yeah. Whether it be through governments, whether it be through companies, whether it be through investors, whatever it might be, you can't just make money out of nothing. It has to come from somewhere. Okay?
That's right.
So like, somebody's making money off crypto, right? The individual can make money off crypto, but there's going to be a company behind that crypto which is also making money, and they have to be a publicly listed company, so they're going to be part of the market anyway. So it's all gonna, you know, it's all regulated the same. It's just not to the person who's buying it. Which, to be honest, if the company has an invested interest in something like crypto, right, and it's unpredictable, why would you invest in it? Do you know what I mean?
I agree with you 100%.
But if they are investing in it, obviously they know something you don't.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe it's just a giant fucking scam.
I mean, a lot of the times it is, because it's happened very recently where like these big social media influencers will hype up a coin, everyone buys into it, then the massive investors just dump it and everyone loses money. It's never in your control. And as much as people think they've got control over everything, we haven't had control since the day we were born. It's very sad, but
100%. Well, this is the same reason why traders short stocks. Like, you know, the same reason why, you know, they hear about a company, like they have insiders on companies, right? That's what they do for a living. They see a company's about to tank, they short the stock. You know, they make all the cash and then they're out. You know what I mean? And like, the greatest part about that is like people who are trying to trick the system and they're trying to short the stock on purpose in order to make more money for the company. And people do that all the time, but people just don't notice because you're not in the trading game. You know what I mean?
That's right.
But people know about it, and it happens all the time. People are like, oh, these Wall Street guys are always getting rich because they fucking pay attention, mate.
Their
You know what I
job.
mean? It's their job. It's the same as if you were working. Say you were working at say you were building fences for a living, right?
Yeah.
And like you go to Bunnings, you buy your timber. Okay, your timber at Bunnings is $1 a meter or whatever it might be. Probably not. It's probably like $50 a meter, knowing that place. But you know what? It's and then Bunnings buys it from someone else, 15% margin on that, right?
Yeah.
And then that person buys it from someone else, 15% margin on that. And you go all the way back to the supply chain. Now you have a mate who works for the supply chain who can sell you the timber directly. You're saving 45% or whatever it might be. So you're going around all these other people. So now you can charge the same for timber as Bunnings can, and you're making as much as Bunnings does. So why don't you open a timber shop? Right?
Exactly.
And then it just keeps going. It just keeps going. And then you're selling the timber to the next fencer, and the next fencer's like, how do I get this cheaper? And then vice versa. And it goes around a fucking circle. That's just the way the world works. Everyone,
It's been that way.
it's just the way people make more money. Like, you're not going to just be like, I'm going to make $500 a week forever. You know what I mean? Like, that's short-sighted and dumb. Like, no, you can make $1,000 next week if you just like do something different.
This is why if I tell everyone I meet, your money's no good in a bank account. You need to make your money work for you, because if you're just letting it sit there and you're just doing nothing but saving it, then that's all the money you'll ever get. But if you make that money work for you, invest in things, we'll say timber, for example, and then you do exactly what you said, then suddenly your money that you were saving has worked for you to make even more.
Exactly.
That's just,
Well, then
but
time,
people are just
time is money,
so,
mate. Like,
yeah,
you've got to think like that. If you think the same as forever. So say, you work in a bar. There's nothing wrong with working in a bar, by the way. I need people to work in the bar so they can serve me a beer on a Friday. All right. More than happy. I used to work in a bar when I was younger. It's a great gig. If you are happy with earning the same amount of money forever, I'm on, say you're on $25 an hour or whatever it might be. You work 8 shifts a week. You make $1,000 or whatever it might be, like that. Yeah. After your tax, $800. Pays your rent, pays for the food, pays for a few drinks on a Saturday, and you're happy doing that forever. That's fine. That's fine. I mean, that's your life. That's your lifestyle. There'll never be opportunities past that though, unless you make.
that's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the people that are driven by that, they're like, okay, I'm working these amount of hours. I'm getting this much money. How do I make money while I sleep?
Exactly.
They're the people that make the real money. So like they're thinking, okay, how do I make the money while I sleep? How do I change the money that I'm making? So say I make $800, I pay $400 in rent, I have $200 on food, and there's a couple $100 there to party, right? Let's just party half as much. Take that $100, put it in a savings account, and then and you save that up. And people think it's really dumb. You're like, oh, savings and all this. Like, just do it. Even if it's $1, it's more than zero, right?
And you'd be surprised how quickly money stacks up, man.
And then you put that in high interest, and you make more money and more money, and then with that money you can then invest in something different, and then
Which makes you even more money.
That's what I mean. Like, it's so easy to do, but people just don't do it because they're lazy.
Yeah.
You know
I think people are very complacent. Like people will just go, yeah, work, home, sleep, done, right? Like I just want to live till I'm 80 and I'll be happy. But what do you want your quality of life to be throughout that period? Do you want to live paycheck to paycheck, or do you want to live where you can go on a holiday once or twice a year because you've put in the work, you've got these extra investments, whether it be property, crypto, whatever, it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you're making money, you increase your quality of life, which I think is very important for longevity.
100%. And like, that's for me, like, that's why I started a business in the first place. So like I said to myself, I'm working an hourly rate for a big company. Okay, I'm getting paid a certain amount of money. I'm very comfortable with the amount of money I was making. I was making plenty. So don't get me wrong. Yeah. And because I was like one of the head technicians, I was well over the average wage. And I'm thinking to myself, this is good money, but it's not fulfilling work. Yeah. Okay, it's the same shit over and over again every day, and it's boring. Okay, and for anyone like I feel like we're very similar, me and you. We have to be doing something that's going to interest us and keep us wanting to do that job. So I said to myself, what if I work for myself? So, because I'm thinking, they're charging an hourly rate of, say, $250 an hour, which is what they charge. Out of that $250 an hour, I'm making, what, $40 an hour, okay? Now, that $40 an hour, say I get a job for 2 hours, they've made $500, I've made $80.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And if that, like, you think of it like that, right? You're getting ripped off. Now, I understand a company has expenses. The company has profit margins. The company has to keep the lights on, has to pay for the tools, has to pay for all this other stuff. But when in the mechanics industry, you buy all your own tools. Okay? Everything you invest in is you. So you buy all your own tools. You go to work every day. You clean your own clothes. You bring your own lunch. It's not like anything's provided to you here. Like, yeah, you're making some super. Who gives a fuck about super? Worry about super when you're dead. Like, and you're doing all these things, right? And you're like, okay, so even if I'm making half as much as that an hour, I'm still making 3 times more than I'm making now, right? So I said to myself, okay, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to do the exact same thing, just change it to suit, what I think is going to be required. Yeah. All I ever heard when I was at Audi and when I was like working for different companies is customers complaining to me about stuff. Yeah. Because I'm front of house, I'm back of house, I'm doing all this other kind of stuff with diagnostics. And customers a lot of the time are saying, look, the breakdown between the office and the workshop is the problem, or the cost is too much, or the inconvenience of me coming in and having to wait, or the inconvenience of me having to go and come back, or, whatever it might be. I literally just took all of that, I put it in this little fucking ball, and I just twisted it, and I said, okay, how do I do the exact opposite of everything that they just said, right? And I said to myself, I set myself a long-term goal, and I said, the first year of this business, I'm going to make no money, all right? I'm not going to make any money. Like, this is what business is about. You can't expect to make $1 million in the first day of business. It's not going to work like that, okay? Yeah. You're going to invest a lot of money to start with, right? Which I had the luxury of because I'd been working so hard and I had a lot of money. Yeah. And I said to myself, I can go on a big holiday, or I could buy a new car, or I could quit my job, which is very secure and comfortable, and start a business from scratch and see that I'm going to give it 3 years. And in 3 years' time, if I haven't tripled whatever I started with, I'll go back to my job, or I'll go do something else. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't like going backwards. So I said to myself, so the first year I made literally even, pretty much. Like I was, the money I invested, I made back, vice versa, build up some customers and that. The second year, I doubled. I doubled everything that I'd made the previous year. I'm thinking, okay, this is going well. This is good. Third year, I tripled it. Okay? Yeah. And I'm just going up and up and up at this stage. And instead of earning that $40 an hour or whatever it might be, I'm making 3 times that much. And this is opening new opportunities. So like, for whatever it might be. And we're in nearly at the end of my 4th year in business now. And it's crazy. It's like I nearly have 1,000 customers, right? And that's in 4 years' time. Now, if I can do that with a business that I know about, imagine what I could do on this. Like, I've now got more cash that I could then invest in something else, and then there is that silent income. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's just you just gotta make it work for you. Like people. When I first started doing the mobile mechanics things, people that I worked with said it won't last. They're like, there's no way you're rolling under cars for another however many years. You'll just decide it's too hard. I said, well, I'm not allergic to hard work. That's the whole point. Like a lot of the people I know, they're comfortable. They're complacent. Yeah. They don't want to work that hard. You know what I mean? They're happy to make whatever they make and go home and pay the bills, and they don't give a shit about the rest. They just want to just live their life and just be like told what to do forever. I just couldn't do that, man. I have a problem with authority. Like, I just decided I want to be my own boss. I don't want to be told what to do. If I want to take a day off, I'll take a day off. If I want to work 12 hours on a fucking Sunday, I'll work 12 hours on a Sunday. All right? Yeah. It's just it just depends on what you put into it is what you get out of it. Mm. Do you know what I mean? I was working 70, 80 hours a fucking week or something. Like something stupid. It was like 10, 12 hour days. And I was working 7 days a week. And like, I work so fucking hard. I literally would have to have a day or two off because I get sick because I was working that hard, you know. And now I'm not working as hard as I was when I first started because I don't have to because it works for me.
Yeah.
Now I can pick what jobs I want, you know.
Exactly.
When I first started working, I'd take anything. I was like, whatever you got, whatever you want, just to make people happy or to like try and build a relationship with someone. Now, I pick and choose everything. If I don't want to do it, if I get a new customer calling and it's a job that I just like, I think to myself, look, I'm going to make this amount of money. It's not going to be worth the effort for me. Yeah. Or it's not going to be worth the travel time or whatever it might be. I say, I'll refer them to someone else or whatever, but I'll just basically say, look, you know what I mean? I could work 4 hours on this job over here, make $500, or I could work 4 hours over here, make $80. It's you got to weigh up what's best for the business now rather than what's best for the customers as well. Like you've got to really pick and choose, because now I don't have time to do everyone's cars unless like weeks and weeks ahead. Yeah, you know, and the backlog from COVID has just been an absolute fucking nightmare for me. Like,
so we need to hire someone to help you.
Well, I went down that path already, and it just didn't work out. So I am too much of a control freak. I have a problem with that. Like I want someone who is me, and that there isn't anyone that I can find that is me. They don't live up to the standards that I set for myself, because my standards for myself are too high.
It's fair to be that way too.
Well, that's you have to be like that. Otherwise, your business will just flatline.
Yeah.
You need to set yourself like high limits, high goals. Like I don't have a goal that isn't 3 years long. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I don't set a goal for 6 months. I set a goal for 3 years. Like I'm pushing customers years and ahead just to like keep them forever. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like I would do things when I started. I'd do things like, oh, I'm not going to charge you today. I'll charge you next service. That kind of stuff. Yeah. I'm losing money early to make money later. Whereas a lot of people in my industry see this person coming, they charge them $1 million and they never come back. You've burnt that bridge forever. You made your $1,000 or whatever it was, but you've lost a customer. You could have made $10,000 off that customer in the next 5 years. Yeah. But you've burnt the bridge straight away by being a piece of shit. Like,
and it's funny how people get so hungry with money straight away. And I see it a lot in Twitch as well, where people, get affiliate and then more or less beg for subscribers and donations and shit without like offering anything in return. It's like, dude, it's a free service. If you want people to hang around, they'll donate money and stuff to you if they feel like you deserve it. Don't beg for shit. They'll give it to you if you deserve it, and
it's an entertainment service. If people are entertained by your content, they're more than likely to subscribe. You know what I mean? But if people aren't entertained by your content, they'll go somewhere else. You know how many channels there are on Twitch? Millions. There is millions and millions and millions of people on Twitch. And like, you just come, if someone comes into your channel and subscribes, that is fucking massive. Yeah. There should be no emphasis on how silly that is. Like,
just give me 1 sec, Rug. Sorry, man.
No, you're all good, dude. I just find that like you should never take advantage of people when it comes to this platform. You should always be grateful if someone decides to subscribe to your channel. I'm telling you right now. And like as I said, guys, don't do it for the money, do it for the love. And if you do it for the love, the money will either come because you're doing it for the love, or you'll just enjoy it anyway. Don't fucking do it for cash, okay? Don't think of it as a job. Don't think of it as something that you have to do if you don't want to do it. Don't think of it as something that's going to pay the bills. It's not, okay? It is something that you do for a hobby. You do it for fun, okay? And if you do that and it takes off, good for you, all right? That's great. But if it doesn't, just do it because you want to do it and you love it. Don't do it for the wrong reasons, okay? Yeah. This is why we always donate all our stuff to charity, or we donate it to other people. Because honestly, I'd be more than happy to do this as a hobby forever with 10, 20, 30 people in the chat than have 10,000 people in here and I can't talk to anyone. You know what I mean? Because I just lose focus in it. Like,
yeah. It'd be too hard to like engage with people and grow a connection with certain people. I totally get it.
Unless you're a hot bitch who likes licking microphones, you're not making any money on this platform. Let's be honest. Do you know what I mean? Unless you're willing to get your tits out and fucking jump in a hot tub, you're not making any cash. So it's just the way the world works. All right, sex sells. We get it. It's all good. You know?
Yeah. Like, I've set myself goals on Twitch, which I've achieved, and obviously, like, the ultimate goal is to make Twitch partner, which I think I will get one day, because every goal I set for myself, I achieve. I don't often give up, if that makes sense. And like, even getting to that, I know it's not going to come tomorrow, and that's what turns people off. Is, you know, that people will say, "Oh, I'm going to get 5,000 viewers on my first 10 streams, easy." People don't realize how hard it is. It's not an easy gig.
But do you know what that is? It's because of the world we live in today. Because everyone wants everything instantly. This is why TikTok is so popular. Okay?
Yeah.
It is a 10-second thing. 10 seconds of your brain engaging in something that has nothing to do with anything. And all of a sudden you're like, I want that again. And I want that again. It's like a fucking, it's a rat with a piece of cheese, okay?
Yeah.
It's a dog with a fucking feeder button on the side of a fridge, right? You know, whatever it might be, all right? It's all built into your brain, into endorphins and like, you know, when you get a big raid, endorphins, right?
It's crazy.
You get crazy endorphins. So sometimes you just shut off because you're like, oh, I don't know what to do, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, it's the same that you get, like, the same euphoria you get when you make a lot of money. It's the same euphoria you get when you speed in a car. Like, it's the same euphoria that you get in your head when something happy happens in your life. Like, it's just the same thing. Like, you can't... It's a weird concept, but, like, people want everything now. That's why when you order something on Amazon, it comes the next day. People want everything now. They don't want anything. Like, they don't want to work for anything. They want everything the fuck now.
Instant gratification, man. That's the world we live in.
That's the internet, though. The internet caused that.
Yeah.
The internet has caused that problem, and an entire generation of children are going to be impatient little fuckheads forever.
And it's only going to get worse.
It's only going to get worse, bro. Because they'll never know anything but instant gratification.
Yeah.
Right. And if that's the case, the next generation of kids are fucked.
Yeah. And it all comes down to a very, very weak-minded society we've built for ourselves, because everything offends everyone, man. And it's like, you know, if people grow up feeling, you know, like they are entitled to being, you know, not offended or not this or not that, and not understanding, you know, being bullied and not knowing what that feels like, no one will grow as, like, you know, like, bullying makes people grow, man. Like, you grow from that. You become... Like, I know so many people who used to get bullied that have become amazing people and successful people, because I feel like that sort of stuff would drive them. But these days, man, you say the wrong thing and you get cancelled and that's it. Your life's over. You know, it's pretty crazy.
No, I agree. And, like, you know what it is? Life experience that you experience, like, outside of the internet shapes you as a person, right? So, like, say if you have... like a bad experience in life where you take a hit, whether it be through a relationship, whether it be through a job, whether it be through an accident in your life, or something that might open your eyes up to reality, it builds you as a person because you use that as a lesson and you won't make the same mistake twice. Or you use that as a lesson to do something different. You change your life based on things like that. A lot of people nowadays, they live on the internet, right? And they live through the internet. And the internet doesn't change unless you change it. Like, unless you visit other channels, or unless you go and watch something different, or unless you are in a different chat, whatever it might be, nothing changes. It's always the same, right? Yeah. So people get bored. And they go, how do I get out of here and what do I do? So you have to adapt. So the people that are the most relevant on platforms like this, like YouTube, that kind of thing, they change. They change with the times, but also they keep it so that they keep it relative to the audience that they're trying to promote to. Like, you just gotta be adaptable. And people are fucking lazy. Like I said before, people are so lazy, they don't adapt to shit. They just expect people to rock up. And when they don't rock up, they get depressed, and then they blame everyone else.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So people who have like 5 viewers on average or whatever it might be for like 6 months, they'll be like, it's everyone else's fault, not mine.
Yeah.
I said, no, it's not. It's just because people don't want to watch.
Yeah. There's obviously something wrong with your personality or your character that's not working. Try something different.
Yeah.
You know, like, if I was this far into my Twitch streaming and I still averaged one viewer, had no followers, obviously say to myself, well, I'm doing something different. Maybe I should engage with different communities. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. You make things work, you know?
If you make the effort
None
for
of
others,
us,
they'll make the effort
none of
for
us
you.
would be where we are if we didn't engage with the community, man. Like, put it this way. Let's say, for example, right? Ashtray introduced me to you. He said, I followed your Twitch and I just never spoke to you again. That was it. I just followed you because I was told to do it. You know what I mean?
No benefit.
Instead of doing that, what I did was I spoke to you, we formed a connection, and I consider us friends now. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So.
And you know what? I've made so many good mates, like, on Twitch. Just out of just randomly. Like, you know, it's always been like, people come in and they're just like, you know, I form relationships with these people. Over... And we all understand Twitch time is not real time. Twitch time is its own time. Like, you know, I've been speaking to you for what, 1 month? 1 month. And I feel like we know each other really well. Because we're on here every day. And like other people in the chat, like I've known people 3 months or 4 months or 6 months or whatever it might be. I feel like I've known them for fucking my entire life. I have people on here that are better friends to me than people I've known for 20 years.
I feel the same way.
I talk to them every day. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. It's just a weird concept. It's like a time warp of weird, but that's the internet now, right?
That's true.
Yeah. Can we get a hello, Mrs. Rhys, in the chat, please?
Mrs. Rhys? Call her Nick. You can call her RhysTooSweet. That's her name.
Nicola
Full
Two
official name. Full official name.
Everybody say hello. Love that. Love that. Also, Katsky in the chat. Good to see you in the chat, Katsky. Hope you're doing well. I've known you for at least 5 years. See, Blitty, we've known each other for less than a year. That's the crazy part about that. Like,
well, I've known Blitty for like, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And, you know, I love the kid, man. Like, he's rated me. And I was super appreciative of that. But like, I always jump into his chat now because we've formed something, you know, just chatting to each other. You become mates with people. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've like, this is the thing about that kind of stuff. Like, I feel like even with people like Rav and people like Blitty and people like Holty and all those guys I met a long time ago. It feels like forever ago. It was literally like 10 months ago, or maybe a year ago. Like, I met Rav, I think, a year and a bit ago. Yeah. That guy, I feel like I'm best friends with him, and like I feel like we know everything about each other, and it's just it's crazy to think that I've known him for less than nothing, really.
Yeah.
Like 32 years
For
old.
sure.
Like, I've known him for less than I've been 30 in my 30s. Like, you know. But I've known other mates for 20 years, and I don't know as much about them as I know about these people on here.
Yeah.
You know.
100% agree.
That's crazy, dude. It's a crazy time.
Dude.
Like, I don't know. Like, the internet is it's a fucking time capsule.
Dude.
It's both the best and worst thing, I think.
You know, since I started streaming, I've only experienced the best things of the internet, if that makes sense, because I've chosen what to surround myself by.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, I think that's all it comes down to. Like, you know, if you find somebody you don't gel with on Twitch, you just say, nope, I'm just not going to, get involved in that community, and it goes on. You know, there are people that have said to me, oh, check this guy's stream out, and then I watch them, and all they do is complain and tease other people. Well, I'm not really interested. I won't specify names. There's one in particular, but like, you know, everyone told me, he's this, that, and the other, and I watched, and I was like, yeah, that's not for me. I'm not going to go near that.
Yeah,
so
100%. And you know what? That's the same as like when we were talking about TikTok and stuff and YouTube. It's the same reason you watch the things you like to watch. You know what I mean? You don't on YouTube. You follow the people you want to watch, and you watch them. There's no like, here maybe you'll like this. Do you know what I mean? Like, no, I don't want to watch that. I want to watch what I want to watch. With TikTok, it's like, this is your For You page or whatever, right? So it basically just uses the algorithm of things you like, or things that you watch, or the videos that you watch fully, right?
Yeah.
Or more than once, and it just tailors that to you, right? Which is fucking terrifying, by the way, right?
I think TikTok has fucking nailed the whole algorithm thing. Like,
Mate, the Chinese have really hit that nail on the head, eh? Like, they have thought, how do we indoctrinate people properly? Like, I understand TikTok is is something that can both enhance and ruin your life instantly. Like you could go to bed, you put TikTok on, 2 hours later you're still in bed but you're not asleep. Because you're still watching fucking TikTok. And you know what? You don't realize you've been watching it that long because you're in a fucking TikTok hole. It's a real thing. Okay? I have so many people text me or call me or whatever and they're just like, I'm in a TikTok hole again. How do I get out of this TikTok hole? Like, and it's just like, but it's an endorphin drug, bro. It's that little mouse and the cheese again. Every time you get another video, oh, I wonder what the next one is. Oh, I wonder what the next one is. It's the inquisitive nature of human beings. They're like, I want to know what's next. I want to know what's next. It's like the sequel to a movie. I wonder what's going to happen. I'm definitely going to see that. But you don't have to wait for it because it's right in your fucking hand, right in your face. And you just go, next.
Yeah.
And you just keep going.
It's funny, man, because the human brain is such a complex thing, yet it's so simple to please, you know?
I know. And
it's so crazy.
This is the crazy part about it, right? Your whole mind is, you're capable of anything with your brain. And we choose to watch hours of TikToks.
Great.
Do you know what I mean? We learn nothing. I couldn't tell. I probably watched an hour of TikTok today, right? I couldn't tell you what I watched. Not one. I couldn't recite one video that was even remotely important to anything to do with my day. Like, it's just it's both a waste of time, right, and a blessing. I hate it and love it at the same time.
Dude, I remember I was so against TikTok. Everyone was telling me, get TikTok. I was like, what the fuck's TikTok? Fuck that noise. I got it, bro. My life's been over ever since. Like, I get numb legs on the toilet seat. It's ridiculous how much time I spend on that app, you know?
100%.
I watch movie length TikToks. Like, I'll sit on TikTok for the length of a movie. Like, it's outrageous.
Dude, it's a problem. But that's the thing. Like, at the age of where we are, like, I know you're younger than me, but you know, when we're like, you know, late 20s, early 30s, whatever it might be, we're in the generation of being able to wait for things. Like we were in the generation where episodic TV shows were a thing. Like where like you would watch an episode on a Wednesday and the next episode's not till next Wednesday, and you would just accept that because there's no other way to get to it, right? You're not going to download it. You're not going to try and find it. You're just going to wait till next Wednesday at 10 o'clock, and if you miss it, you miss it, right? People don't understand that at all anymore.
Even small things like not being able to go to the cinemas to watch a movie, so you have to wait till Video Easy gets it.
Yeah. And then,
like
then when
going out and picking a movie, like no one does that anymore. You just sit on your couch, you pick a movie, and you're done.
Yeah,
the experience of going, like I still like
going to the
remember
video store, bro. Oh my
god,
god,
it is one of my favorite memories, and I wish I could still do it. You know?
And you put the 20-cent piece in the gumball machine on the way in. And...
Yeah, dude, getting the fairy floss, the drinks, all your mates over. Oh, dude, that shit was so sick.
Dude, and then, you know, the new release comes out, but you don't want to pay $7.99, right? So you wait 2 weeks, and then it goes down to like the weekly section, and it's $5. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that kind of shit. Or you get three for one on Tuesdays. Oh yeah, dude, just stuff like that. Like just the weirdest shit ever. You know, but no one of the next generation is gonna know what the fuck that is. They're gonna be like, I want to watch this movie right now. Click a button. There it is. You know what I mean? Insert entire ID here. Okay, good. Yeah. Here, put all your money here. Okay, good. All right, movie's on. You know, it's the instant. It's both creating convenience and creating laziness. So like
succeeded.
This is the thing. Like I reckon in 20 years' time, if there's ever a war again, right? Which it could be, right? If there's ever a war, whereas like a on the ground war in any country, there is no chance. Like you know, you see what China is doing with these you know,
like nukes.
The militia on the ground is massive.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they decided to invade America tomorrow, America would be in. That'd be the end of America.
Yeah, they'd fold. Yeah. I mean, they could just call me in and I'll just slide cancel on team wipe. You know, it's
just double tap DMR headshot.
Yeah,
I understand.
I think.
But you know what I mean?
Stuff,
like
you know? you need to recruit the COD players. I swear to God, it'll be the most success you get ever.
But it's the thing that the trades are going to die out, right? Because kids won't want to do those jobs. They're not going to want to get their hands dirty. This is what I'm saying. Like I'm talking like 20 years down the track. we're still going to be doing these hard jobs because no one else is going to come in to do them. And then when
You know what,
when
though?
we retire, the next generation of kids are going to have no money anyway, right?
Yeah.
Because the government's taken all their money and given it to us in fucking coronavirus packages, right?
So
they're
let's
gonna
not
have
get
any-
into that.
No, no,
Let's
no.
not get into the coronavirus talk, man.
No, no,
because
no, we're not,
I
we're not,
could
we're not,
go
we're not,
on
we're
for hours.
We're not. But what I'm saying is, right, is that basically governments are spending all of your kids' money, right?
Pretty much.
The governments at the moment, whether it be the American government or the UK government or our government, every single government right now is spending your kids' money, your kids' future.
Yeah.
Right? I'm glad I've decided in my life I'm not going to have children for the sole fact that I do not want to bring up a child in this world. For all the problems it has, I can handle them because I have a mature brain to handle them. I could not even imagine having a child in this day and age. Like it terrifies me. You know, I'm more of the kind of person that I would adopt someone or adopt a kid like sort of like 10, 12 years old and then try to teach them like the ways of the world sort of thing. I feel like it would be selfish of me to have a child in this world and bring them up with all the bullshit that's going on right now and then have them not be confused by it. Do you know what I mean? I think it would be like a detriment more than an advantage, personally.
Yeah.
That's my view. But like, I mean, a lot of people think that, no, I want a kid so I can have fulfilled it by having kids. Like, I understand that. But with the population growing as fast as it is, I think it's selfish.
Interesting point of view for sure.
Yeah. It's not a popular one. I understand.
No, I wouldn't say it's the most popular. Like, I of course do want kids, but it's purely because maybe society's taught us that that's just how life goes. You finish school, you get a job, you get married, have kids. Maybe that's part of it. But I also just want how do I explain it? It's like I just want to start because not to get too deep, but like I want to start a family that's better than what I've had. I
understand that.
So I want to start something else. It's hard to explain, but yeah.
No. It's a life experience thing. Like, so you've grown up in a certain way based on experiences in your life, and you would like to provide something better than that to your future kids. I get that. Yeah. I understand that. Like, I was lucky. I came from a very good household. Like, I was, I came from a nuclear family. Like, the perfect nuclear family does exist. I was brought up in it. It was great. Had a good childhood, like, besides, being an absolute nerd and getting bullied at school. I mean, we all did. It was pretty good. I couldn't complain. I got everything I ever wanted, but I wasn't spoiled. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there was always food on the table. The lights were always on. You got to go to school. You had uniforms, all that kind of shit. Like, everything was pretty good as a kid. You know what I mean? So I understand that when you come from another perspective, where childhood was pretty shit, but you grew into the person you are today, and you're still a good person, you understand that I would like to do it again but I'd like to do it properly.
Yeah.
I'd like to give the kid the opportunity I didn't have.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand that, 100%.
Yeah.
But again, for me, it's just more the fact that I see what's going on in the world because I watch too many things. Like, I engage in too many things. I love politics. I love learning. I love reading. I love expanding my brain. I don't care what it is about. I'll listen to it. I'm interested in it. I want to learn about it because there's one thing I didn't know yesterday. You know what I mean? That's the problem though, because the more things you learn, the more reasons you have like that. The more reasons you have not to want to fucking bring a child into this world. If that makes sense. Like, it scares me to think, like, all the things that I know now, if I have to put someone else through that, and they're not mentally prepared for it, that's fucking...
Forgive yourself.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Like, you even see, like, kids in school now, like, school's a different thing than it used to be. It's not the same as what we did.
No.
They're teaching all sorts of weird shit in schools. You wouldn't know, though.
Well, you would hate to be a very religious person and sending your kids to public schools because it's... the stuff they try to teach you is pretty rough, like...
Yeah, I understand what you're saying without saying it.
Like, yeah, you get where I'm going. But like my point is, the mark of the beast has come, and I think we're all doomed anyway. So fuck it.
It's true. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a pushback on people too. Like there's a lot of people like that are growing up with freedoms that previous generations didn't have, and they're taking advantage of it in the wrong ways.
Yeah.
So like it's like just because your life is easier in one way, it gets harder in another, and they don't realize that until it starts happening, and then like it's too late. So like if that makes sense, without specific context. I mean, like we're not allowed to get into it on Twitch anyway, but it's just one of those things. Like the world is changing and evolving, and people are having trouble evolving with it. It's just moving too fast.
Yeah. 100% agree with you.
100%,
sure.
bro. Dude.
Right, before we call this, I just want to ask you a couple things.
Yeah.
All right. Just to bring it on a more positive note, who's your all-time favorite wrestler?
Oh yeah, we hadn't even talked about the wrestling. Oh my god.
Yeah.
We did watch it before. That was great.
We did.
All-time favorite wrestler is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
All right. Who's your current favorite?
My current favorite? Oh, probably. Oh no, there's too many good ones, bro. How you do this to me? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, AEW is definitely on the top of my list now, and
Just
out of the
put that whole
wrestlers,
roster on it.
pretty much like out of the wrestlers that are in that roster, like Sammy Guevara is pretty good. Like he's pretty fantastic. But but you can't go. I can't really go past the Young Bucks. They're just amazing.
Oh,
they're just amazing.
best tag team of all time, without a question.
Every time I watch them, they just amaze me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Character work, everything in ring, just fantastic.
Yeah, and the reason I say Stone Cold is because when I was a kid, he was WWF. Like without him, it doesn't exist. Like with the whole thing he went through with Vince McMahon, with that sort of storyline, The Rock wouldn't exist unless Stone Cold made him exist. Okay,
that's exactly right.
Stone Cold was there first, and he made The Rock, and now The Rock has taken off, and it was all because he got the start against Stone Cold. That's what I'm saying. So there's nothing in the wrestling industry would have come to pass unless it was for that bloke. I'm telling you right now. He literally set the foundation for that company.
Yeah.
He's a great dude.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh
I think your answers were fantastic.
Thank you. Dude, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, man.
I really appreciate you doing this. This is a really good conversation. I had a really good time.
Yeah, man, it was great. Thanks for having me, man.
I knew that would be a good conversation to have because I knew that we'd get on.
I mean,
well.
how long was that? It felt like it was 5 minutes.
It was 2 hours.
Oh, there you go.
So you know what I mean? Like, but that's the glory of podcasting. Like, you can go in any direction. That's what I said to you. You said to me at the start of this, you were like, what do we talk about? I'm like, don't worry about it. I was like, whatever we talk about, we're just going to continue on. Like, that's just the way it is. And that is the sign of someone, especially for you now, starting streaming and all that. It's a sign of a good channel. And I'm really excited for everyone to latch on and go check you out, bro.
That'd be great.
Guys, if we can get a shout out in the chat, please, for Rhys. Everybody, go follow Rhys. He's a good dude. He's entertaining. He's funny. Sometimes. Sometimes he shaves his head for no reason. You know what I mean? Like, he just does some weird shit, and it's very good. He's very entertaining. So go give him a follow. I'm just going to shout you out right here.
Thanks, bro.
Rhys,
I appreciate
it. Nah, you're all good, bro. Thanks for doing this. I'll catch you.
All right, man. Enjoy the rest of your stream, huh?
Much love, dude. Thank you.
All right, see you, bro.
See ya.